Wode Maya has posted two questions that I would like to address because he's asking two questions that concerns us in the diaspora. Now, since the questions may be personal, I will answer in such manner first, and then I will speak general to that. It's important, especially for us Africans in the diaspora who have a platform to speak on this because his questions are validated, but I'm not sure if he really wants to know the answer or if he's just being condescending. But hey, let's have a discussion. Wode Maya, even though we have not met, we sort of know each other. We've spoken on Instagram. He knows my company is Aniheza that I founded in Rwanda. He used to follow my channel. So it's someone that we are sort of in the same orbit. We are both passionate about the continent of Africa. And I was actually one of his earliest follower in China. I used to love his content in China when he went and talked to the people in the public. That was really cool. Yes, I was following him before he became big and famous. So I'm very proud of you. And as always, the Wodeans, the Wode fans don't come after me because there was a time when I reacted to one of his videos when he went to Togo, by the way, and it was a constructive comment or feedback. And the Wodeans, I call them the Wode fans, came after me. That's kind of normal in our society. Africans just like to do that type of things. And so this is again in no means an attack to you, Wode Maya. We are proud of you. I am personally proud of you because I've seen you rise from China to where you are. And once again, we are both passionate about our continent. First, you ask, why did you leave Africa? In my case, and my story is of many people from the continent of Africa. But let me take you back. In 1994, in Rwanda, we had fill in the blank. Wars is one of the reasons why people leave their continent, the continent of Africa. As we speak right now, in Sudan, sorry, I was going to say the other one. Yeah, there are women who are being, there are men who are being, families and so on. In fact, I recently watched on CBC Radio Canada, yeah, this man who is trying to bring his family here.
Basically to be patient while the immigration process works its way through, while your family is in danger of dying.
It really hurts. While I'm
Go ask him why he's doing that. Go ask him. Go ask him, like, why does he want to bring his family to Canada? Wars. Unfortunately, our continent is not always peaceful, and we have to find a place of peace. In my case, I didn't want to leave the continent of Africa. I was, first of all, very young, vulnerable, and I kept going. I was in DRC for a while, tried to stay in DRC, and then before I knew it, they had the war in 1996, and I had no other choice but to continue finding another space where I could continue my education and find some kind of stability. Ended up in Nairobi, and when I was in Nairobi, it was during the time of Moi must go, Moi must go, and foreigners were being attacked. Some of them. I had a very scary moment. It was an experience where I was taken to this black site by police officers, and they almost got rid of me. But I got out, and for me, that was it. It was it. I knew I had to get out of Nairobi, and the next place I could go to, given who I knew, was of course in Canada, and I've been here since. So does that answer your question? So for me, it was a war. For others, such as your friend Tayo Aina, he made a video. He tells you why he left Niger. He's now living in Europe. He told you. He made a whole video about it.
of Lagos to Nigeria, and then from Africa to now exploring the world. This has led us to achieving our greater mission of inspiring you, the viewer, to step out of your comfort zone and become a better version of yourself through our content. I've done most of this from my home base in Lagos, Nigeria. But in recent years, the more time I spent in my home country, the more I felt trapped. My day-to-day back in Lagos had me focused on solving infrastructural problems. This is the most important step, basically, the most important step on YouTube. The slow internet, having to go and search for fuel to power my generator, and restrictions to my ability to do simple things like filming outside or taking a walk to clear my head. I realized I was spending so much time on solving this problem instead of being creative and telling stories. This led me to liking my work less day after day, which led me to feeling tired, burnt out, and depressed. I also have a green passport which limited my ability to travel freely. Therefore, I had to find an alternative.
On to the second question. We should speak about the bitter truth on life in the diaspora. Well, look, the continent. We have how many continents in the world, right? I live in North America. Someone in China may have, in Asia, let's say that's a country, may have different experiences depending on where they live. We have to put things into perspective. Africans in Europe, many countries, Africans in North America, South America, they have different realities. But let me tell you something. I am very hopeful and I'm a very strong advocate to change the negative narrative of our continent, just like you do. But I'm not naive from the diaspora point of view, because each time we have high hopes for our content, look at what happened in Kenya. Look at what's happening in Kenya. That will never happen in Canada. That the youth will be disappearing like that. Apparently, they are doing that. I think the reality is the people in Africa face day to day are very hard for many. That we have to be truthful. So now, since I live in America, let me answer. I live in North America. Do we face discrimination? Yes, we do. Okay. Will someone come and point a gun at me in Canada? No, never. It has never happened for the last 27 years. It's peaceful here. For peace, I would just, I don't know, give up almost anything. But not to mention is, I was watching to a channel by O'Shea Jackson. You met him. He has a YouTube, Kenganda Nation, and he speaks of the realities, the harsh realities in Africa. He lives on the continent of Africa. I've only lived there mostly for 16 years and then some years here and there. But he talks about the challenges, and he lives in Africa. And Wode Maya, I'm sure you heard of him. So he's the good person to speak about his own perspective as someone who moved to Uganda from the US. So he has a broad understanding of life here and there. In fact, let's just take a listen to what he said.
I'm gonna start something here. What people keep telling you when things are not going your way or things are going bad, you will hear this phrase: "This is Africa." Or you will hear this phrase: "This is Uganda." In other words, this is how it is. Deal with it. If you don't like it, leave. Wanna know what happens? They do leave. Then you get mad that they leave. Then you get mad that they don't want to come back. Well, what is the incentive for them to come back? What are they coming back to? And this is not to say that everything is bad in Africa or you can't make it. But again, the road is long, the road is arduous, even if you're a person that makes money. And I've done very well here. But I'm gonna be honest, it is a hard road every single day. Every day. It is a maximum effort. every day. You are tired. At least I am. You can see it in my voice. Every day you give all that you have to make this thing work.
And so, as someone in North America, in Canada, um, the one thing I truly love here is that, yes, there are challenges, but raising a family here, I can see the future for my kids, and I can see earning a living that is fair. Earning a living that is fair. I was watching a documentary about South Africa and the poverty. There are people with money, but the people we are poor. Like the disparity between the rich and poor is just painful to watch.
Let's go then. Yeah, as you can see, they actually drop the rubbish from their windows and it just falls in. This is Rasta's wife, by the way. Rasta's wife. You can imagine what this place must be like at night. It's quite scary.
We have poor people here in North America, but the disparity, right? Those who have not, it's not like big. And at least you can aspire to at least make a decent income and raise your kids and give them access to education. A good education. It doesn't have to be private education. Ironically, people with money on the continent of Africa or in power, where do they send their kids to study? In North America. Most of them. So my dear friend Wode Maya, thank you for asking those questions. It's a topic to discuss. I don't think most of us in Africa want to leave. As I said, there's different reasons. And I don't believe that all Africans belong in Africa. I will end with this. The Diaspora Africans sent $95 billion to the continent. That number will increase to 100 billion. So now, ask yourself, if the Diaspora African is not here, who will send that money to the continent of Africa?